Hey everyone, my name is Eletise Mincey and I am doing this video because there are a lot of people doing videos all across the globe. I get it, but when you come right here to Colombia where I am living, there are so many, what can you say, single people that are doing videos, and that can be misleading and a whole lot of information because there are a lot of people who are not single and they're trying to move abroad. And that's the reason why I want to do this video. Again, my name is Eletise Mincey. I am from the United States and I've been living here in Colombia for over 7 years. And I'm doing this YouTube channel because I want to come at this approach from a perspective from a person with family. So you're married, you got 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, whatever the case may be. And that's what I'm trying to give you a perspective on, so that way you can get a better understanding of what is going on and what to expect when you come here in Colombia. This will not be a long presentation, but it's going to be informative enough for you to get a better understanding of what to expect when you get here. Okay, so let's get to it. First, let's get the screen going. There we go. So my background and family, you see us right here with my wife and my son. We took a trip to Cancun, Mexico at the end of last year for 2 weeks. So I'm a U.S. Army veteran living in Medellin, Colombia for over 7 years. I couldn't continue to live in the United States due to my injuries while at war in Iraq. So I moved from the United States in September of 2017. Medellin became my home and I still love it here. And a lot of people will find that the case, once they make that step to move abroad and they get to that place that they've always been desiring to live in, you will find that the quality of life is a whole lot better. The food is better, the people are more friendly, and you overall see the cost of living be cheaper as well, which I'll get to towards the end of this presentation. But I had to leave the United States. I was trying to make things work. I was working a job and the winters bothered me badly with my arthritis and everything like that. So that prompted me that I needed to move out of the United States and move to a tropical climate to where I'm able to live off my pension year round. So since I am 100% medically retired at the United States Army due to my injuries that I sustained while serving in Operation Enduring Freedom over in Iraq, I was able to make the move down here to Colombia. Okay, so I met my wife here in Colombia. We're 3 years apart in age. When we met, she was working at a clinic here in Medellin, one of the more popular clinics that a lot of famous people go to as well. So neither one of us had been married nor had any kids at the time. Our son was born in 2019 and we got married in 2019 as well. And so it was a rough time at first, because when I came here I was already learning Spanish online, but I was not able to really have a conversation with people yet. I wasn't conversational. I was able to read and write the language a whole lot better than I could actually speak it and understand when people was talking to me, right? So when we first started dating, a lot of times we would be writing each other on WhatsApp right there near each other, because I was able to read the language a whole lot better. Because when they're speaking, everybody speaks at different speeds, they got different accents, and I was like, everything sounded like a run-on sentence to me, and I just could not separate what the meaning of the words were and all this other type of stuff, right? So we use WhatsApp, and the WhatsApp is a popular app that we use around the globe, and people are starting to use it in the United States as well now. And we used to communicate strictly through WhatsApp only. And then, after a while, I got to the point where I was able to start understanding conversational Spanish a whole lot better, and then we was just able to have regular conversations like we do now. So she does not speak English. She speaks just a few words in English. But that's the thing, and it's like I had to learn the language, which I was already learning anyway through Rosetta Stone. And so they got other ones that you can use. Then you can also learn Spanish in other places around here in the city as well. But that's how we pretty much are making things happen. Me being able to adjust from my experience in the Army is easy. I can easily adjust to anything pretty much, and pick up on things very quickly. That's the most important thing about me as well. And then my son, he just pretty much speaking Spanish, although he understands English, but he's ashamed to speak English. All of his friends, family, all speak Spanish only. But when I'm telling him things in English, he understands everything that I'm telling him. When he's playing we went to the United States over a year ago for a 2 weeks vacation. He was playing with his cousins and everything like that in the United States for when we went to the family reunion, and they was all just talking to him in English, so he understood everything that they were saying. It was just that he had a hard time, or just didn't want to speak English back. He would say a few things back, but he just would not indulge into it completely, just like he still won't do right now, although he understands it. Okay, so being married to a Colombian helps get a visa here faster. If you didn't know about that, and so the thing is, you just can't go and get married and get a visa immediately. You actually got to show proof of a relationship. So when it came to us, getting married, after we got married, I went to the United States Embassy in this case as well. And with me being a U.S. Army veteran, I had to go ahead and add them onto my my VA claim as well, so that way I could start getting compensation for being married and having a son. So when I went to the United States Embassy, they asked for proof of relationship. So that means bringing in photos. So we had photos brought in from the time that me and my wife started dating, during the time that she was pregnant, after our son was born, and everything like that as well. And so once they saw that, they went ahead and approved it. I was able to go ahead and get my wife and son added onto my VA payments for my pension. And I just give my wife that money every single month. And that's pretty much all that she needs to be able to take care of her things, because it's like working a full-time job, but it's better for her because she's not having to pay for transportation. She's not having to pay for meals to eat lunch and everything like that. She's not being out working. Like when she was working like 10, 11, 12 hours sometimes in one day. And that's the thing about Colombians. They're hardworking people, but they don't make a whole lot of money here. So by me adding her and my son onto my pension, I just give her that money every single month, and she doesn't worry about working. And she has not worked since 2019, as a matter of fact. So since I'm pension, it's easy to get a visa that way as well. So if you're getting a Social Security, or you're getting some type of other retirement pension, or you got an investment where you're making a nice return on your income every single month, I think the minimum that you need to earn in order to move here on that kind of visa is like around $1,600 a month. It could be a little bit less than that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's not a huge requirement. Of course, you want to make more money than that. Okay, so going back to where I started off in the beginning of this video, you will see a lot of YouTubers coming down here, and they're showing you how much things cost and everything like that, but they really can't stay here all that long, because their income is not sustainable. They're making all their income just from TikTok videos and YouTube videos. So me, I've been living here over 7 years. I make more money more than likely than a lot of these social media influencers, right? Depending on how many followers they got and everything like that. Now there'll be some social media influencers that make more money than what I am making, but there's not a whole lot of them that are making more money than me. And that's not coming off as bragging or anything like that. I'm just stating the facts, okay? And so when they do their videos, it can be misleading, okay? You're thinking that is one way, and when you get here, it's something totally different, because hey, I got a family. I make more money. I need to be able to do more things that's going to be different from a person that's just living a single life here, right? So that's where I come in at, and I'm looking at doing way more videos in the future, so that way you can see what it is, how it is living here as a family here in Colombia, okay? So there are other visas that you can take a look at, or you can use the agency I go through for help. There is an agency here that helps all, you can say expats. I don't like using the word, never did, but just say it helps pretty much foreigners. And if you want that contact information, I think I can add in the description of this video, because you can contact them through WhatsApp or through their website as well, and they will. You ask them what service that you want. They go to real estate. They can help you out with the visa. They can help out with passport services, and so many other things, right? And they give you the price of what the whatever it is that you're trying to take care of, right? So there are some people that would do things on their own and just don't go to the agency, but I just find it easy to just go to the agency because it is their job to understand what is going on, what documents are needed, and I just pay them to take care of everything for me. When I first moved here, the visa was only 1 year for the lifetime of that visa. Now it's 5 years. And when you look at the fact that the visa is 5 years, now you're able to save more money instead of you have to go back to the agency every single year or have to go through the process yourself. Okay? Also, when I first moved here, you had to send your passport to Bogota. So I would give my passport to the agency, and they would send off the to Bogota to get the visa stamped in the passport. You don't have to worry about doing that anymore. Everything is digital. So that makes things a whole lot better for you and makes you feel more secure, knowing that you got your passport with you at all times now. Because before, yeah, we didn't. I had went the time without any identification to be able to use when I was here in Colombia. So I restrict myself from going out during that week, something like that time. I forgot how long it was. It wasn't long, for the visa process to get done. But the fact I had to be separated from my passport during that time, it worried me a little bit. But it was my first time ever doing it. But everything worked out, okay? And I did it again. One time I did do it everything myself, and it was with the help of some friends as well. And we went to Bogota, and we had to pay for transportation to and from the airport here in Medellin. Well, not in Medellin, it's in Rio Negro. It's the town outside of Medellin. And then we had to pay for transportation to get to the embassy in Bogota, and then get to the migrations office over in Bogota. And we had to spend the night. So we had stayed in the hotel, paid for food, paid for transportation back to the airport in Bogota. Got back and here to Rio Negro, paid for transportation to get back to Medellin. And so all that stuff, it adds up in the end. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you don't want to go through all that stress of paying for all the transportation and trying to book a hotel and everything like that because you can't get to Bogota and back from Bogota in the same day, just go to the agency, pay the premium because they got a job, they got lives as well. So we pay an extra premium to go into the agency, makes it easier. You don't have to worry about stressing yourself out if you missing out on any documents or anything like that. They take care of everything for you, okay? And the price is, it's really not that bad when you really think about what they do for you. The communication is on point with them, and so as soon as they get everything back, they send it to you in an email. They schedule your appointment at the migrations office or the immigration's office, and then you go to the immigration's office at your appointed time, pay for your visa. They probably take a photo. Well, actually, no, that they use your photo that you send to them in the email when you're actually applying for the visa originally. So everything is digital now. So that's the good thing about it, and just makes things a whole lot easier now. All right. So I could probably end up talking about that more so in another video, but that's a good breakdown and start off right now of what to expect with the visa process. And like I said, I was here for my pension first, but now I got the what kind of visa I have. Matter of fact, let me see. I got it in my wallet here. So I got a residente, but it's different visa because I am actually married. So instead of them using my pension this time, they just used the fact that I'm married to a Colombian citizen. And it made things a whole lot easier, not just for me, but also for them, because it's less paperwork, okay? And, so they asked just for the marriage license, which is, everything's already in Spanish. So you have to worry about that as well. Some documents, you probably have to have it translated from English to Spanish, or from whatever language your original documents into Spanish. Have it notarized. So they got a lot of notary publics here. You just go to them, have the documents notarized, translate from English to Spanish, and it's very inexpensive to do that kind of service. So let's say that you got maybe 10 documents that you need to have translated from English to Spanish and have it notarized. You're probably looking at maybe $7, $10 max to have that service done for 10 documents. It's ridiculously cheap, right? And then just send everything into the agency, and you be off running at that moment. You good to go. But Yeah, things are easier for me because I'm married and I've been here for over 7 years as well. Proof of history, everything just streamlined for me. All right, and that can happen to you as well later down the road. Once you're here for like 5 years, things start opening up more for you in ways that people that's coming here doing their YouTube videos for 3 6 months and then they off to another country. So me, I was looking at staying here for a long time, and that's what I've been doing so far. Continue on. What to expect? Of course, you got the language barrier. So Spanish is the official language here in Colombia, and you will need to get it. Need that language to get things done in general. So, like I said, I was taking Rosetta Stone online, but you can take classes, different places, locations throughout the city, and in other cities as well. So, I would recommend you doing that because speaking to people, just like when we went down to Sabaneta yesterday, I was talking with the Uber driver, and something that we talked about was the fact that there are foreigners living here that don't even speak the language at all. They've been living here longer than me, 15, 20 years, and they still know how to speak Spanish because they just stay amongst themselves, and the foreigners and the ones that can only speak Spanish or not Spanish, but English or some other language that they feel comfortable with. They'll find other people that's like them, and they just hang around those people only. So when you come down here or you go to any pretty much Spanish speaking country or another country that speaks a different language, if you learn that language, you're going to gain a lot more respect from the locals. And so I don't know, I don't understand why people come here to Colombia and don't want to learn the language. I mean, I understand that there's people that would just learn the basics, but it's more to it than just the basics. There's people that you really need to be able to speak to and get some help if you need that kind of attention. And if you are not willing to learn the language, you're just gonna be stuck. You're gonna be trying to use the translation app, whether it's like Google Translate, something like that. And there's gonna be times that you probably won't have a good signal, depending on where you're at in the city, what building. If you're under the ground level in a parking garage, whatever the case may be, you might not have access to Google Translate. So you need to learn how to speak the Spanish language. I'm not saying you need to be completely fluent because I'm not completely fluent. There are things I don't understand. I don't understand like all the finance terminology when we're going to like the banks and everything like that. My wife, she'd come with me sometimes, and especially when I open up a new account or I'm looking into a new service, my wife would come with me because I don't understand all the finance terminology in Spanish. But I can still get things done and everything like that, and I can break down bits and pieces and everything like that. But as far as like certain words, it's just like the human body when you go to the hospital. Like my son gets sick or something like that, the doctors come out and they explain everything in Spanish. I don't understand all of the body parts and all of the sicknesses and everything like that in Spanish. I understand a lot, and but I don't understand everything yet, and that's what I'm getting to. So there's going to be times that you're going to need to learn, know how to speak Spanish and understand what's going on, so that way you can make moves down around here, okay? So when it comes to properties, and I'm going to speak with rental properties because if you buy a property, that's going to be a different avenue that you have to take up. And that agency that I mentioned earlier, they can help out with that as well. But you got the option of furnished or unfurnished apartments. More than likely when you come here, just like myself and like many other people, you're going to start off in a furnished apartment. And thing is, it became harder to get an unfurnished apartment after the pandemic, okay? But before, it was easier to get an unfurnished apartment at that time, and it was but a lot of people was coming into furnished apartments because you start over fresh, and you don't have all the money to be able to just move into an unfurnished apartment and furnish everything yourself, right? So when you move into an already furnished apartment, it already comes with all the bills activated, or all the utilities activated, and when you pay the rent, everything's already included in the rent. Okay, so there'll be a lot of property owners that will pay for the slowest internet and everything like that, and you will try to make a complaint to them, like, hey, can you improve the internet speed because I got work to do. I got things I need to upload, or there's people that like playing video games online, right? And the internet is too slow to be able to handle that kind of work. And so when you put you request for them to increase the internet, they'll probably just increase it just a little bit more, or they give you a hard time about it, sometimes because they understand that you're not going to be there all the time, and they don't want to go through the process of increasing the internet speed, then having to decrease it again once you're going. But I've had instances in the past in already furnished apartments where I requested for a higher internet speed, and one of the owners didn't do it, so I was able to break my contract with that lease, because when I moved in there, they said they promised high speed internet, and that's not what I got, and I ended up breaking that lease, freely, and moved to another apartment where I was like, okay, the internet speed is this right here, but can you increase it to this? And that's what the owner did for me at that moment. So I was good to go there, and then after that we start moving to unfurnished apartments, and so at first when before the pandemic, it was just proof of income. Can you show me that you're making the money to pay for the rent? That was it. It's not a credit check here. It's just proof that that you can pay, and then they accept you. It was just that simple. Just like one time we went to one of the malls, the many malls here, and I went to Falabella, and the credit card process for Falabella, they asked me for my information, and so I didn't even show any proof at that time either. They just asked me for my name, asked me for my cellular number, and then they asked me for how much I am making per month, and they approved me right on the spot. So I didn't have to show any proof of income. I didn't have to worry about printing out the bank statements or my pension letter or nothing like that. They just took my word for it. That was it. So, but after the pandemic, everything changed, of course. And now, to get into an unfurnished apartment, you need to have a fiador or a cosigner. So, that cosigner or fiador, it just can't be anyone. It has to be a business owner or a property owner here in Colombia. Okay? And they have to be making enough to be able to cover your rent. So you may only find one fiador, or you may need to find 2 or 3 fiadors to move to an unfurnished apartment. And that's not just for foreigners, that's for locals as well. They got to do the same process. What happened during the pandemic was there were a lot of people that were trying to make money online, whether through like YouTube, TikTok, and we couldn't move around freely at that time. So what happened? Their funds start drying up, and they had to suddenly depart Colombia and go back to their countries of origins, right? And what ended up happening was it caused a debacle here with the property owners that was expecting that rental income to come in every single month, and people had to break their contracts all of a sudden, and they departed without any consequences. So they had to end up making changes here in Colombia to not just the foreigners but also locals now require fiadors in order to move into unfurnished apartments. Okay, so luckily we have, and my wife has multiple family members that that are willing to be a co-signer for us without any issues, because they know who I am, they know how I am. I hate making late payments. I pay early, and I so that way I can avoid any type of problems, and the people never have issues with me when it comes to making payments. So that's why people don't hesitate to sign the co-sign for me. My wife's mom would do it. We got my wife has a cousin who's an attorney here, so he's a property owner, and he makes more money than a lot of the family members do, because this property here, which I'll show you another time, is a big property, and it was just his signature that all that we needed in order to move to this apartment, because he's making more than enough to be able to cover the rent. But he knows that he's not going to have to worry about anything, because I pay my own rent. And that there's no worries at all with me making late payments or missing payments at all. Okay, so that right there is talking about the rental properties. So the people here in Medellin overall are very nice and proud people. Family is very important here, and it can be seen especially during the weekends and also during the holidays. Okay, there's a lot of holidays here. You wake up one day, it's like, why is the streets empty? And it's like, today's a holiday. What holiday is it? Sometimes people don't even know what holiday it is. It's just as a holiday. And that's the Spanish culture. And, if you even go to the country of Spain, you see that as the same way as well. And, but, they really do cherish family time here. And you will see, like, grown children still living with their parents. into their 30s, maybe into their 40s as well. Like my wife's brother, he is in his 30s, still living with his mom, my mother-in-law. And he got, two kids, I think? 2 or 3 kids? 2 kids. He got 2 sons, yeah. And, so one of his sons living with him as well, with all of them living together in my mother-in-law's property. And so that right there, you can see that a whole lot around here in Colombia. And there's nothing unusual about it, to them. Although, just like gets to the point where like, hey, you got to try to get out and do your own thing now. You like 40, 50 years old now, still living with your mom. You got to get your own property at some point, right? But, for the longest time, that's not frowned upon here. Compared to like the United States, like once a child gets to their 20s, it's like, hey, it's time to get out and do your own thing. Here, you can stay with your parents here till 20s, 30s, and everything like that. And until you finally start making your own family and you start making your own way, then you're able to move out and do things on your own. So it's just a different culture here. And I came down here, I'm like, man, like living in a different world. And you will feel the same way if you have not been outside, for example, United States and Canada or something like that, or Europe. You'll see, well, actually Europe, I won't say Europe, but especially USA. I just say USA. Since I'm from the United States, when I came here, that experience for me was like, I'm like living in a totally different world, down here. And I just enjoyed that altogether, although I couldn't speak with people conversationally, fluently in Spanish, but I was still going out, walking around and getting things done and just seeing things. And I really enjoyed it. So now let's continue on here. So here's the big one. This is my cost of living, not the cost of living. I'm not going to do that nonsense because you cannot put a cost on what somebody else's cost, life values are. When it comes to the cost of living, it depends on your income. It depends on what it is that you want to do, how big or small your family is, and what it is that, just you want to do that's within your means of living, right? So let's just go over this information right here. So my rent. Could I spend less than this? Yes, I could. But for the area I'm living in, you cannot beat this price, especially for the size of the property I'm living in as well. So this is 3,934,080 pesos per month, which is around $964.69 currently at the rate of the dollar. Can you find properties cheaper than that? Absolutely. But, just understand, just like everywhere around the world, the cost of living is going up here in Colombia. But it's still very, very, very cheap compared to what you experience in the United States. So my property, the property I'm paying for here, rental-wise, what was it? I think it was almost 2,400 square feet. So we have, 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, 3 balconies on the second floor. We're 10 minutes walking to Viva Mall right here in Laureles. We're 10 minutes walking to another supermarket called La Vaquita. We're like 10 minutes walking to one of the major universities here, UPB. We're like maybe 15 minutes walking to Unicentro. And we're 1 minute away from dozens of restaurants and many other stores and everything like that right here in this area. So when you look at, the fact that the owner of this property is only asking for this amount of rent, and how close we are to everything here, this right here was a steal. Now the price of rent went up after 1 year. We're going on 2 years living here, and we plan on moving out and move to another apartment later on this year in August. But right now, you cannot beat this deal right here with the size of this apartment. You're not going to find properties at this value being this close to everything, like to the point where I don't have to worry about owning a car at all. I can walk or I take an Uber or taxi everywhere that I need to go at, and hardly ever I'm using the Uber or taxi because I can walk to so many different places that I need to go to. So it makes it simple. All right. So private health insurance. Now I am a U.S. Army veteran, and I want to put this out there as well. We do have a clinic here in Sabaneta where veterans can go to, not the family members, but the veterans themselves that served in the military in the United States. We can go to that clinic and we can get our appointments done for free, and they will send everything to the foreign VA program for us. Okay, so that way we're not being questioned or anything like that, and they're trying to look at decreasing our our pension, right? Because I'm at 100% permanent, okay? And so if I wasn't taking care of my appointments, they could be like, hey, we're gonna drop your rating down to like 90%, 80%. Then that's gonna be cutting a whole lot of money out of my pocket as well. So I'm glad that we got that clinic here. We got 2 locations for that clinic, matter of fact. One is in Sabaneta, right here in the metropolitan area of Medellin, and also the other clinic is down in Pereira, which is closer to Cali, Colombia. So if you're down in that region, you can do that, and also you can do everything virtually for the most part. Okay, so yeah, you got private health insurance, which for 3 people, I am paying 2,700,000 pesos per month, which is $662.08 currently at the rate of the dollar. Okay, but I just wanted to give that update as well, that veterans can take care of their appointments here. Now, you will not take care of like your dental, your vision, and but they do have like physical therapy. They have the general checkup. They even have a psychiatrist as well. But as far as like for your dental, your vision, you got to take care of yourself through your health insurance here, which is a requirement for everyone living here in Colombia. And so the VA foreign program will not reimburse you for that because that's not something that they cover. Okay, they do cover just a general checkup if you do come out of your pocket for a general checkup. Okay, but anyways, moving along, let's go to utilities. So it's gas, electric, water, sewage. So here in Medellin, we have the company called EPM or EPM, and so everything's included into one bill, and the bill can go up and down. This is what I just paid recently, for the past month. So 603,000 pesos for the gas, electric, water, and sewage. So that's 147.86 cents. I mean, there are probably some people like living here. That's a high bill. Well, when you look at just United States, people paying electric bills of $500, $600, $700 in 1 month. That's a steal, okay? All right, to continue on. So cable, high-speed internet, house phone. And I'm talking about high-speed internet. I have no issues with the internet. My son could be here playing on Fortnite. My wife looking at Netflix. I'm looking at YouTube and uploading videos to YouTube, and on my other YouTube channel that I got, when I talk about like online investments and calling things out scams and everything like that, I really don't have any issues with the internet. Okay, so that's coming up to like 210,000 pesos per month, or $51.49 per month. Not bad at all, right? Now let's continue on. My son goes to a private school here. Okay, and he goes to it's a private school not that far away from me, as a matter of fact, like 5 minutes driving. And so I'm spending 1,089,361 pesos per month. That's coming up to right now $267.13 per month. And this private school is in the top 3 in everything. Of course, not including English. There's other private schools in the city that you'll spend way more than that. Especially if you got a child that speaks mainly English. They do have those English speaking school and private schools here throughout the city, and you have to spend more. So let's say, for example, you got that kind of child that needs to go to a private school where it's English based. Then you're gonna spend like maybe 2 to 3 million pesos per month. So add in another extra $100 to $200 per month on top of what I'm paying, and you can pretty much figure out that price of that private school. And with the private schools, just schools in general, you need to enroll them like super early. Okay, it's hard to get into a lot of these private schools, as the private schools, they're more centrally focused, and there's not like a big classes, so they got small classes, so that way they can really focus on teaching the children the correct way and the best way possibly. All right, so that's what I like about the private schools. And like I said, my son's in one of the, if not the best private schools here in the city, and for it to be that cheap, not bad at all. Okay, so my son's school transport, so they don't have the school buses system that you see in the United States. For example, they have like these minivans or shuttle vans, and then you can also pay for private transportation, which is what I am doing, like with one of the teachers at the school that my son goes to. She offers a transportation service as well. So I spend 270,000 pesos per month for that, or $66.21. Okay, not bad at all. And so my son's meals at school. So this is something that the school just started this year. Because last year when he went to the school, they did not have the service because they didn't have the capability to be able to provide these kind of meals at school. Now they expanded it to where it's more like a restaurant. So when we go there, with parents and everything like that, we can sit out there. It's like a cafe, kind of like a venue thing now, and they offer different kinds of food that you can buy. And so I pay for that service for him to be able to eat 2 meals per day in the school, and that comes up 280,000 pesos per month, or $68.66. Okay, cell phone bill. So this is for me and my wife included. It's coming up to 91,800 pesos per month, or $22.51, and we use Tigo. So the other one that popular people use is Claro, and then you also got was it MoviePay? Can't remember the name of it. Then you got one with Éxito, one of the supermarkets here that's like more like Walmart, and you got some other ones as well. But the main two that you won't go wrong with would be Tigo and Claro. So we switched from Claro to Tigo, and our bill actually went down. Because before, I think we was paying like maybe $35 per month for our cell phone plans, and like we get so much internet on our phone, we never come close to using it all. But we don't regret having that internet, because you never know when you need it, right? You can get trapped, get stuck somewhere, be out in traffic, and so our son, when he's out with us and we stuck in traffic in an Uber, something like that, he just get like anxious or like antsy. So he'd be able to look at YouTube videos, play video games on the phone, and we got plenty of data for him to be able to do that. Okay. So Uber or InDriver or Diddy. So you got the rideshare services. You got another one like Yango as well here in the city. And so I just say that I don't think we spend $100 per month, but I just put $100 per month right there, because it just really depends on what it is that we need to do. A lot of times, like I said, we don't really need to use a Uber, InDriver, or Diddy, or taxi in that regard. So we probably not even spend $100 per month. I just put that in there so that way you can get pretty much a high end figure. Okay, and as you got the buses here, you got the metro system here, and depending on what bus you take, you're not even going to spend $1 for the bus ride. For the metro, you're not going to spend $1 for that neither. So it's very inexpensive to get around in the city. Even if you take a ride to the airport, which is from here, probably like a 20-minute drive, 15-20-minute drive, and you're going through the tunnel, you're looking at probably like around $30-$35 for that ride. Imagine if you was taking a 15-20-minute drive in the United States. You're going to be spending closer to $100, right? Not here. So it's very inexpensive for transportation around here in the country. So miscellaneous, we're talking about like movie theaters, restaurants, which we don't go out to a whole lot of movies because we look at Netflix a whole lot here. So we can enjoy a lot of different TV series and movies and everything on Netflix. And speaking of Netflix, if you cancel your Netflix service or your HBO Max and Disney Plus services in the United States, and you start those services down here, you're going to spend less per month for those same services. Okay, so I want to put that in there. But let's say miscellaneous, and spend $500 a month, because we do order out a whole lot through Rappi, and they do have like the Uber the food order service, and the Didi as well. But I use Rappi, and so I spend pretty good penny through that every single month. I don't know if I'm spending $500 a month. I just put a high end figure there, okay? And so look at groceries. This is the other big one, right? So I'm spending for 3 people like around 1,700,000 pesos per month, or $416.86 per month. And so that includes toiletries, that includes what you got, get some lotion, some deodorant. But I can spend less as well. But we like to go to a place called Price Mart, which is similar to like Sam's Club, Costco, those kind of places. And then when it comes to like just buying food, I like to go to La Vaquita, or we can go to the farmers markets like Fruver, or the Mayorista or Minorista. All right. So where you need the Mayorista, Minorista, you need to have cash on you, okay, in order to shop there at those farmers markets. But Fruver, La Vaquita, you use a debit card to be able to make purchases there. But La Vaquita, also offers discounts throughout the week, whether it's on fruits, vegetables, meat, chicken, wine, seafood. So they got different days of the week where they're offering discounts. So I like shopping at La Vaquita. A lot of people that are coming here, they don't want to shop at places like that. They feel comfortable shopping at the more expensive ones. The most expensive one here is like Carulla. And then you also got Jumbo, which Jumbo is similar like Target. And then you got Éxito, which is similar to like Walmart. So you can save, you can spend a little bit of money in Éxito, but you can save a lot more money if you go to like these other places that you don't hear the foreigners talking about. Excuse me. So yeah, I can save a lot more money than that, but there's some things that we need to order by the bulk, and every month we go to Price Smart, and while we're there, I buy pretty much everything at one time, and then during the rest of the month, I will pick and choose when I go to La Vaquita for certain things, and I take advantage of the discounts. Okay, so total per month for me, $3,267.49 in USD. Not bad. Okay, that's for a family of 3. And like I said, it can be lower than that or it can be higher than that. It just depends on your lifestyle, what it is that you want to do, and how you want to live here. Okay? So that pretty much is all that I have to show you right now. And I hope that this right here was a very informative video. Unlike anything that you ever heard of before, as there are a lot of videos right here on YouTube showing you the different parts of Colombia and everything like that. But like I said, I'm trying to bring you a different perspective here as a family man living here in Colombia, literally living here. I'm not here for a short term, 3 months, 6 months time and anything like that. I've been here for over 7 years. So I just want to be able to show you more and what the true cost would be for if you expect to move down here with a family. Okay, so that right there is all to say. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And and also feel free to share this video with other people who are interested in knowing some of this information from a family viewpoint. And hopefully that I'm able to inform, keep you informed and also share the right information. If I don't know something, I can find it out, research it, as I have access to the resources to be able to do so immediately being down here. Okay, so that's all I say. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time in this video. Take care, everyone.